Are we recording?
We are recording live, take two from WHP2.
Welcome to the worst hour of the week, folks. I am the big-ass Ramdog, the Tie-Town Shake, broadcasting to you live from WHP Studios, WHP2, out here in East Los Angeles. Joining me in studio today, as always, he is the co-host of this program. He is a contributor to the Wall Street Journal. He is, a legend in this town. Bryan, Big Business Spokey.
That's right. You name a story, I broke it. Watergate, that's me.
That was all you. Watergate was you. There was also the deflated balls. Was that you as well?
Yep. Brady Deflategate.
Broke that one.
Any of the gates.
I mean, just even Lock the Gate, the WTF intro with Mark
that was me.
That was you as well.
Yeah. Everybody gives Cameron Crowe credit for that, but Cameron Crowe,
of course,
he stole everything he knew from me.
From Bryan, Big Business Spokey.
Oh, 15-year-old Wonder Boy journalist, get out of here.
Yeah, it doesn't really make any sense from my perspective, and it never made any sense. As a disclaimer, I do want to state something. I have been speaking to my podcast attorney, Hakeem, and he is, I have him take a look at all my papers before I move forward, and he was advising me to add this legal disclaimer to the beginning of the show. So here it goes. As a disclaimer, I am stating the views expressed herein by the Ramdog and Big Business are in no way, shape, or form reflective of those held by Ramsey, Badawi, and Bryan Vokey as individuals. All views expressed through this show are being done in the name of satire with the intent to educate through humor. Go ahead, Bryan. Take it away. Take it away with the funnies, brother.
What's Hakeem's last name?
Hakeem does not give me his last name.
You have a one-named lawyer?
Well, he says this is how you know he's a good lawyer. He says legally he doesn't have to tell me his last name.
Where did you meet Hakeem?
Of course, I met him through Craigslist.
Okay.
So I was posting in the legal help forum on Craigslist.
Right.
Met Hakeem. Hakeem is the official worst hour attorney. And so he advised me on a lot of things. You may be wondering why I'm wearing a fake mustache right now.
That's a fake mustache?
Yeah, so I'm wearing a fake mustache for the listeners at home. We are essentially, this legal mustache is almost like a badge as a police officer, but as a comedian.
Oh, right.
By wearing this, by talking...
It's no longer entrapment.
It's no longer entrapment.
Right.
By speaking into this microphone with this fake mustache on...
See, you exposed the bigot in me because I just assumed, hey, I haven't seen Ramsey since Friday. I assume he could grow a full handlebar mustache in 2 days. Easy.
So it's sort of interesting how sometimes God gives us these moments to really analyze our own internal behavior and figure out what did we do wrong? What's wrong with us as people? And we got this little treat to start off our show today, and that's an incredible thing. Once again, our third mic is, of course, a soundboard, which was made possible by the Worst Hour Patreon, which we'll get into in a little bit. But fantastic people, fantastic show for you guys today. We're going to be talking, about a lot of things. But one thing I'd love to get into for the second part of our show today, Bryan, is Neuralink.
Yes.
You see this Neuralink.
I watched Elon and the Pigs live. I can't wait to talk about it. By the way, that's the name of my old high school band, Elon and the Pigs.
Elon and the Pigs is like an all chick band.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
They're so attractive. Elon and the Pigs. They're so attractive.
They tour with the Yeasty Girls and the Luna Chicks.
Yeah, they're all doing their sort of, their girl rock, which as I said, this is a Ramdog thought, but listen, chick rock just doesn't excite me.
Chick rock.
I support it in theory, but it's all about,
it blew my mind when I moved to California because I had never heard anybody call girls chicks in sincerity, I believe the judges in Orange County would call a defendant a chick.
Yeah.
There's nothing rude about it at all.
Defending the defendant today, of course, is a wonderful chick. Attorney Janet Nguyen.
Chick attorney Janet Nguyen.
I'm just saying, I don't typically get behind girl rock, but I would like to listen to Elon and the Pigs. They sound like a good band.
Yeah, there's not a lot of, I remember a friend of mine was like, we've been driving for 4 hours and I don't think one woman has sang a song in my playlist. And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, I haven't heard a single woman in 4 hours. And I was like, yeah.
I mean, what's the...
What are you saying? I don't know what his point was. I was like, what, do you think this car's mic'd?
Wow.
You think... It was like, social media's ruined people so much that they're paranoid that they're like, I got to diversify my Spotify playlist.
I'm not sure what the end is here, Bryan. These these big tech companies have broken all of our brains, and they've got
really
us all into just a fetal position. We're crying. I think about this all day long, and it's sort of why I wanted to jump in to talk about Neuralink. And that is that, these tech companies, the four ones, the ones that recently testified on Congress, you have Amazon, you have Apple, you have Facebook, you have Alphabet, which owns Google. Those four companies together are worth what, like $10 trillion? Like it's Apple's 2.2, Amazon's got to be like 1, all together. Like, could you imagine if RJ Reynolds in the fucking 90s had the kind of power that these tech companies have?
There's no way they ever could have, but I think it would have been a little bit better.
Yeah, I think
that, like you said on the Patreon, Social Security would be more than fine.
We would all have been relaxed.
Yeah.
They were trying to get us relaxed, these guys.
I'm surprised they didn't get in on the weed quick. Like, I thought that was going to be the second coming of Philip Morris, RJ Reynolds.
Yeah.
The legalization of weed, but,
There was always that remember that mythical Marlboro 420 pack?
No.
I feel like every single stoner in 2013 was sharing a Facebook picture of like a Marlboro 420 pack.
Every stoner I talked to, because I used to trim weed, they would always be like, RJ Reynolds owns like half of the Central Valley now because they know that weed's going to get legalized.
Yeah, I don't.
Immediately they're going to hop in on it.
Yeah, and by the way, I love the amount of knowledge that these guys know.
I know.
About these various companies. And
that's where I discovered Alex Jones, was Humboldt County. I mean, there was a weed trimmer who shot down a federal helicopter who was going over his weed. He shot like a harpoon with chain on it.
Yeah.
Into the blades of a federal helicopter and down the helicopter. And it was a big thing Alex Jones was railing on.
There is not a industry that I'm less interested in joining than cannabis. It is not. There seems to be zero laws that govern anybody. Everyone's got a handgun. Like whatever cannabis company CEO you are, you have a handgun in your pocket.
It's all phony science.
It's all weird. I'm not.
You have to say a bunch of goofy words every day
to try to and then by the way, you have to pretend there isn't this huge contingency of people in your group who are completely misrepresenting the science, and it's a rough industry. That's not the industry I'm interested in. That's why I've been getting into plastics lately.
Oh yeah, that's a solid industry.
It's a good industry. I don't see it going anywhere.
No.
So whenever I see litter on the ground, I think good. Business is strong.
I always want to work with OPEC, too. Like, I want my company to be relying on OPEC barrel prices.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
To me, it's sort of one of the most stable things on the planet is Middle Eastern dictatorships. So you basically want to put all your money where it ain't going to move.
Yeah. No, if there's anything, when I think the Middle East, I think stability.
It goes back to my theory that the best sort of system of governance is monarchies.
Oh, for sure, dude.
It's one of the things I've always said on this podcast.
Go off, King.
Thank you. That's why when I hear "Go Off King," I think finally.
Yeah.
When I see "Go Off King," I actually go, "Are you guys appropriating my culture? What's going on?" That's my culture.
Well, I'm British. That's my culture.
I guess
too.
it's your culture as well. Yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah.
We just start attacking people online.
Hey! You don't have a king.
We have kings.
You Irish fuck.
It's actually kind of funny. I guess everywhere you go, there's just gonna be kings, right?
Has there ever been a king of Palestine?
That
sounds like a really sad documentary.
The King of Palestine.
King of Palestine.
Yeah,
it's like about a one-legged soccer player.
Yeah, it's like you don't want that movie to be about you.
No. And
it's nothing you did wrong. It's just the circumstances against you.
King of Palestine.
You've got the most olive trees. They don't mean it seriously.
No.
Not at all. No.
You tried really hard for something and you failed.
Or you're doing something in Palestine that in America would be not considered all that crazy.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like this guy owns.
Stand.
Yeah, this guy owns 5 cell phone stores. You'd be like, oh my god, like.
But is he a king?
Yeah, in Palestine. But here you're like, oh, cool. Like I guess he lives in Baldwin Hills or something.
I don't know.
Probably not in a cool city, but near a cool city.
Probably eats Panera once a week, something decent.
He's doing okay. He doesn't live in Austin, but he lives in Round Rock, which is
right.
or whatever. So
Speaking of Panera, another great, well, we love to quoting these facts that people just make up, colloquial facts, if you will.
Yeah, we call them facts a truck driver a tow truck driver would give you.
Yeah, exactly. When you're just sitting next to him the worst day of your life, and he's just telling you facts that are bullshit.
Tow truck driver facts, which are never been substantiated.
No,
I could write a coffee book table. Just tow truck driver stances, facts and stances.
My dad thinks that part of the reason why liberals are full of shit and why communism and all that stuff will never work is because Panera Bread one time had a pay what you want bowl.
Yeah.
Like a soup or whatever, and everybody paid so little that they had to close the store down or something. I don't know. I never really listened.
That's a great dad fact.
Yeah.
Like, my dad has a version of that where one time he was like, there was like a guy who one time, like the Torah originally stated that actually like the Prophet Muhammad was going to come. And there was a guy who actually got caught changing the Torah to not say that the Prophet Muhammad was there.
Wow.
And those are just like, you're like, oh, dude, those are like facts.
Yeah, the Torah, which came out many years before.
Many years. Many years before. But
hundreds of thousands, maybe 1,000 years.
According to my father, a claim that I personally, at this point, is not true. I don't know. That the Torah could have been altered, unlike the Quran.
So here's my question: Do people believe that Muhammad was like anticipated? Like there was like rumors about him?
Yeah,
man.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
They did a sneak preview type.
Exactly. Yeah, man. I mean, just like all great stories,
Right.
you always have a story. You always have a preview.
You start seeding it 900 to 1,000 years before.
Yeah, you start it up, you drop it. That's when the initial promotion starts.
Like the new Batman trailer.
Pretty much exactly the same way.
The new Batman trailer ends with it saying the movie's 25% filmed.
It's like not even close to done. It's the same.
By the way, have you seen that trailer?
No. Is that the one with Robert Pattinson?
I don't know who the fuck it is, but
I promise I'll never support Robert Pattinson. What he did to teenage girls during the Twilight era? Oh, no way. He woke so much sexuality in young ladies in this country. I don't want anything to do with that guy.
Yeah, he's a degenerate.
As far as I'm concerned, he to me ruined an entire generation of young ladies.
Yeah, woke those chicks up, dude.
No way, dude.
Go back to sleep, chicks.
It's what are you gonna do, dude? It's gonna like destabilize the region.
Right. Everybody had to learn all the tricks.
So
you had to get these girls off. You're at 15. You're like, remember that Louis bit about my father was telling me how to get a 34-year-old divorcee off when his father was teaching him about eating pussy? Like, that's what we all needed.
Yeah. Well,
with Robert Pattinson making all these girls fucking 50 years old with their sexuality.
I feel like when I was younger, Robert Pattinson was somebody who a lot of the women that I was interested in were like fawning over. And I, for some reason, felt some sort of like resentment about it. I remember legitimately just kind of being like, well, whatever,
Man,
dude.
Fuck him,
this
dude.
Guy's just like it mattered to me.
Let me see him land an ollie.
Yeah, like it mattered at all to him or me.
Yeah. Like if there was a moment where it was going to be like the girl was like, do I want Robert or Ramsey?
I literally was like, this is just like not cool. Like I remember thinking about it by myself, like just like, man, you don't have to put up with that. People singing the praises of this guy. Why would you have to put up with that?
I'm trying to think if any dude made me mad.
Had to have one guy, man, and maybe like is there some kind of a, I don't know, is there some kind of a civil rights hero or something that you were rather fond of?
I was a little annoyed with the Young Bernie pictures.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody getting horny over the Young Bernie.
And you were like, this was back a few years ago, you were upset. Like, why won't chicks ever say that about me?
1989 when he first got into the house.
Yeah, and you were just like, ugh,
yeah.
Stupid dude.
Oh, everybody's going nuts over Young Bernie. I'm young now.
Yeah, he's not even that hot, dude. Oh, man.
Oh, he was at the I Have a Dream speech. I mean, I literally couldn't be there. I wasn't born yet. So how the fuck can I compete with that?
Was he really there?
He was at some big iconic civil rights. I mean, there's that picture of him getting like arrested at a civil rights march.
If you want to talk about a picture that's cool for you to, like, if I could have any picture
getting arrested
in my office, it's me getting arrested for something awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, how great would it be right now if there was a picture in our studio of the back and it was you and I getting arrested during the Women's Rights March?
I got to tell you, if you were hot, it would matter. But look, I have an ACAB tattoo that's 10 years old. And I was arrested at a police murdering a black guy protest. But I'm still working with what I got here, so it doesn't do anything for anybody.
There is such thing as buying a stock, Bryan, way before it's mature, and then selling it before.
I know. I did it out of actual empathy.
Yeah,
and actual anger.
You failed.
That was wrong.
You should have hung on to that a little bit longer and made that a little bit part of you.
I'm gonna wait till this thing's worth a little more,
But here you are, dude. Here's what you don't see is right. It's past the horizon, Bryan, and where you're at right now at the Worst Hour podcast. This is what many would call a revolutionary show, because eventually, when the pendulum swings back towards cable news podcasts, this show will be right here.
And it will have been here, and we'll have cred.
Because when
this is our photo. It's being taken right now.
Yeah, so we're so...
And in 10 years, they're going to look back at us at WHP2, and they're going to be like, they've always been there doing this.
People,
and now this is cool.
People listen to this show, and they think, why would two people decide to create a late 2000s FM talk show that airs weekly? Why? It's because eventually we'll be back in 2000. We're actually just in the future right now in terms of trends.
Everything comes back.
Everything comes back. That's why I'm currently wearing this bucket hat as well.
That's why I'm wearing my oversized "Take Me to Your Dealer" shirt.
Yeah. If you're seeing me walking down the street, I've got one pant leg rolled up for a reason, folks. That was a really cool...
LL Cool J, I think.
Was he the only one who did that?
I think he was the only one. And people who rode bicycles who didn't want their pants to get caught in the chain.
You're right. And a chasm between those two people, if there's ever been one. I don't like that, there was just like a period of time in the 90s where they would just give you like 14 seasons of a TV show just to try it out on you to see if they liked you. Remember how Cool J just had like a full series?
Yeah, he had a whole show. I've done so many casino shows where the headliner is some guy who's half dead and is doing jokes about payphones. Like, can't find a fucking payphone around here.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And I'm like, what's your deal? And they're like, oh, I had a show for 37 years.
Yeah.
I have $900 million.
Yeah.
I can't get 4 people to come see me and I want to kill myself.
Yeah.
The last guy I did, he was using a powder on his bald spot that was like a black powder.
Oh, they used to have those, like a little cut to cover up the yeah. How did it look?
When he at the end of the show, he was sweating, and it was just like little runny black spots on the back of his head. It was unbelievable, and he started crying about his divorce.
Yeah.
After the show.
Good position to take yourself into if you're like maybe like a a failed graffiti guy where you're like, I got to take some of my skills somewhere.
Spray painting bald spots?
Spray painting bald spots would be a good spot.
Clean lines.
Yeah, if you're just kind of like, look, unfortunately, I would have loved to have been Banksy.
Yeah, yeah.
But there really isn't that many of us, and at some point, I just sort of had to figure out where I was going to make money.
Yeah, I want to hook people up and be the middleman and be like, you see that bald spot you got there? You guys like, yeah, I go, my homie AIDS could cover that right up.
Yeah. You ever get those guys who will like stop you when you're driving? Like, hey, for $8, I'll go ahead and clean up all the dents in your car. You ever get that guy?
You have a car probably like mine where like you get the business card that says we junk cars. We buy junk cars. And they go down the street, they skip the nice cars, and they put them in your car. Is there any bigger insult in the world?
What do they think? I mean, really, like... The amount of money to feelings hurt,
I know,
ratio. It's like you make $8 and then you hurt everybody on the block's feelings.
Yeah, or you make a couple people on the block feel like the king of the block. Maybe that's the king of Palestine, the guy who doesn't get the business card in his car.
I just don't understand. There's certain types and modes of advertisement that is still around, even though there's no reason it should be around. I saw a guy with a plane, with a thing the other day. He was flying with the banner.
With the banner behind it?
Why would you do that? You could go on Facebook for literally the same cost. And like you could run like a serious ad campaign.
You're 100% going for the market of people who are not online. There's got to be still a little... But demographic.
There was.
What were they advertising? Do you remember?
I believe it was beer. It was like Pacifico. I get the part where it's like, obviously old people aren't going to be on Reels. But they're at least on Facebook.
Right, for sure. Yeah, has anybody, like the Goodyear blimp flying over a football stadium?
That was one of the worst advertisements Goodyear ever made. They were literally like, listen, we know where the future of ads are going, and they're going to, it's everyone knows they're going to blimps.
I feel like you lived near the Goodyear blimp at one point.
Without a doubt, I used to see that. I used to see it all the time.
Yeah, because it's down there. It's OC area. It's Long Beach, Carson area on the side of the highway there. And it just seems like you would have lived near the Goodyear blimp.
Every Goodyear blimp starts off at John Wayne Airport in Irvine and finds its way to wherever you guys are.
To Staples Center.
That was what's another horrible, there was another one, besides business cards. That's another like horrible advertisement.
I've made business cards in 2019. I made them.
Did you? I made one. I made some business cards. You made like comedian business cards?
Yeah, because I was opening for a friend of mine.
There's never a way to do this, right? Because every comic has them, but no comic wants to admit they're printed.
It's horrific.
It's one of the things every comedian has.
It's horribly embarrassing.
You know how some people are worried? I don't have any nudes I'm worried about leaking.
No, if people find my business card, I'll kill myself.
Anybody finds my business card from a few years ago, it's over for me.
Sometimes you're opening for a comic that's massive, and you have a great set, and you want them to give them something so that they can follow you.
To throw away. Oh, yeah. Sometimes you have here's the thing. Here's the great thing about the business cards is if you have a great set, follow me. If you have a horrible set, you get to give people and burden them with something on the way out. Oh, you guys weren't there for me? Guess who's not here for you? Take my card. Take it. Take it.
Take this junk. You throw this out.
Oh, you feel uncomfortable right now? How do you think I felt while I was bombing for 43 minutes?
Dude, you ran long too while you were bombing.
43-minute long feature set.
I had a business card when I was opening for Preacher Lawson, and you had to be clean to open with Preacher. And a lot of you listeners, because this show kind of started in the post-stand-up world, you don't know that, but me on stage is not anywhere near clean. And this lady grabbed a business card from me, and she grabbed the business card, and she goes, I just love how you didn't say the F word on stage. And I just grabbed it back from her, and I was like, there's no reason to look me up.
You did not. Yeah, you weren't reading between the lines.
Yeah.
We got a couple things besides Neuralink that I want to talk about. I got these pretty great, as you can see, blue glasses, kind of a John Lennon sort of, give peace. What's so wrong with peace and understanding?
Give peace a chance.
Give peace a chance or whatever.
Nick Lowe is the peace, love, and understanding.
This was another recommendation from Hakeem. He said, if I can look funny while you deliver your humor, people will be forced to acknowledge the fact that there was an attempt at humor in the. So that's I'm looking to close up some of these liabilities that exist within this show, because here's the thing, man. We're trying to sell ad space to people right now. Mm-hmm. We're trying to sell all of the ad space.
Yeah, we want to get a Northrop Grumman ad.
We'd like this to be
General Electric ad.
3-hour long show, and it's 2 hours of ads.
Yeah. 45 riff, though. It'll be entertaining.
45 minutes of show, 2 hours of ads, 15 minutes of PSAs.
Yeah.
Just 15 long minutes of Bryan and I telling you about...
It's 2 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
Yeah, we're telling you about problems that don't exist anymore.
This is your brain. This is your brain on drugs.
That was the one PSA I never fully understood. Brain on drugs, because to my understanding, an egg has no purpose until you cook it.
I know.
So by putting your brain on drugs, are you saying that my brain is now usable?
Yeah, it's edible now.
Prior to this moment, your brain was worthless.
This is a worthless piece of shit. Now it's food.
Get
high.
So I never,
They always had a hot girl doing it too. In a wife beater.
Could you imagine if you had an ugly person, woman, man?
Yeah.
Would you ever listen to that person?
No.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you get somebody really ugly on TV and they go, I use heroin all the time.
Right.
And you might go like, ooh.
Dude, heroin makes you beautiful.
I've never tried heroin. I've never even had, just to be safe, I've never even tried morphine. Right. I've never been anesthetized.
Have you ever had a surgery?
Yeah, some pretty serious ones too.
Some serious ones? Did you just grinned and bared it?
I mean, for me personally, if you're trying to get between me and my worship and my prayer, my WAP, I don't like giving anybody that opportunity, and I found that there was a chance that being anesthetized could have done that, so therefore I didn't do it.
You ever seen Starship Troopers?
Is that no? I don't have cable or Netflix or Hulu.
Have they played the audio on AM ever? Is that how you watch movies?
I see movies usually when they make it to regular TV. So I just saw Home Alone 2 yesterday, and that was a wild one, man.
Wow, can you believe that happened again?
Dude.
You're talking about knuckleheads.
I'll tell you what, dude. Home Alone 3 should be a visit from the Child Protective Services.
Seriously, was there a Home Alone? Oh, it was a different guy.
It was a different guy. Probably because the cops took away Macaulay Culkin from his parents.
Right.
Probably because they're like, he can't.
Donald Trump was so nice to him in Home Alone 2.
That's right. He's in that movie. I'm actually saying that they should take it down.
They cancel Home Alone 2.
No, I think they keep it, but they cut that scene. Dude,
how cool is it that our president's been stone cold stunned?
He has been stone cold stunned. And eventually it's going to be the way they inaugurate you.
Yeah, I mean, The Rock will be the next president.
Yeah.
And he's been stone cold stunned.
After that, it'll be Kevin Hart III. After that, it'll be...
Because The Rock's going to do 25 years.
Yeah, Rock will do 25 years.
Because he doesn't do anything lightly. You know what I mean? He goes hard.
Yeah. After that, it'll be Cardi B.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually, I think we might get back to the way things should be, a dictator. But in the meantime,
in 300 years, Elon Musk's head will be president.
Well, I could see that you're starting to drift into a territory that I'm a little bit uncomfortable with. Mm-hmm. I did share on this on the Patreon, and I'm going to share this to our main feed listeners that I am currently on. I'm a shareholder at Tesla. Mm-hmm. So as we go out through the program today, Elon Musk may come up. You may make a comment. I will have to sort of proactively recuse myself from such statements.
Absolutely. What about skywriting?
Skywriting is I never knew what you were even advertising there.
I think skywriting is for proposals, actually.
Yeah, skywriting is a way to advertise that I have $300 that I don't want. I have $300 that I'm not interested in having anymore.
Skywriting, like, that's a huge gamble because I'm unimpressed by it.
I've never, ever, ever been like, well, you look at... Skywriting is like a car alarm. Have you ever thought it was yours?
No, never.
Never looked at a sky and been like, oh, that was obviously for me.
Johnny, will you marry me, Julia?
Yeah, it's like... I mean, even if my name was Julia, I would literally assume like, oh, I'm sure it's thousands of
that's weird. Some other Julia's finally getting the question. I don't know why my guy's not doing it.
If you're walking and your girlfriend is named Julia and you see the sky writing, will you marry me, Julia? Take that time. If you have any thoughts
that's a great
about
way
it,
to save some bucks.
Save a few bucks. If you think it's going to happen, if you're like, I'm probably going to marry Julia.
Oh, you should crowdfund get on Nextdoor app.
Yeah.
Say, hey, is anybody here dating a Julia?
I can't get on Nextdoor app, but yeah. I see what you're sort of explaining. You're saying if you were not banned for violating terms and services. The Ramdog has been banned from a lot of those websites, unfortunately, but you know what I mean?
What happened? I got you banned from Nextdoor.
I thought it was a website to get to know your neighbors. I didn't realize it was mainly just going to be white women saying that their Amazon packages were stolen. I was trying to get to know people.
Right. The one I'm on a very wealthy Nextdoor because I briefly lived in a wealthy neighborhood. And
very wealthy next door is door that's 200 yards down.
Right.
That's how a wealthy neighborhood works. You don't have a next door neighbor. You have it's going to be about a quarter of a mile down.
If you stand at the very top of the property, you can see his house.
Yeah, that's always a good time.
Yeah. But it's all it's all really funny, irrelevant stuff that has nothing to do with anything. It's just like, Johnny's going to be on America's Got Talent. He's a finalist. That's
really?
Like, it's all shit like that. And then a coyote ate my dog. That's about all that was on there. Their children are all like, Johnny's going to do a saxophone solo at the White House. You know, he's getting a Congressional Medal of Freedom. They're all rich kids, and their kids are all like graduating law school. Or a coyote, or a bear is in my hot tub.
A lot of people steal and so you don't even get package stealing.
No, I didn't know that was on there.
Package stealing is a big thing, especially in this corona world where people are stealing other people's packages. Sometimes those people, they'll take a picture of them on Amazon, like, using their Ring or whatever, and they'll be like, if you've seen this person, call the cops or whatever.
Oh, yeah, because they have, like, the doorbell cameras.
Yeah. So, and sometimes it's like crazy because sometimes those people could be anybody. They could look like anyone. They could look like me. They could look like you. They could, it's a little... it just seems to me a little suspect.
I would just steal my own packages and get a return on it.
Oh, that's not bad.
Insure your packages.
Could you imagine being blasted that way publicly? Jeez Louise, dude.
He was stealing his own packages and cashing it on the insurance. It was a scam that took, in 3 years, he made $79.
Yeah. Just an insane.
That's 3 years of Netflix, bro, and Tinder Gold.
I'm glad that you brought that up, man. I'm glad that you brought up the opportunity to make real serious dough.
Yeah,
Cashola, because before we jump into the show today, I do want to mention that we do have a Patreon. Patreon.com/WHotW. $5 a month. You get a bonus episode. You get a lot of things. But most importantly, you get the highest value of them all. Let me sort of pitch you on this one, Brian. Are you a member of the Patreon?
I'm not.
Okay. Have you, at any point in your life, thought to yourself that you wish there were more podcasts available?
Every day, every waking second.
Have you ever wondered to yourself, have you ever thought to yourself, not only do I wish there were more podcasts available, but I would actually be willing to contribute to said podcast if it met my needs?
Yeah, if there was a good one.
How much would you say you'd be willing to pay for this? 200, 300, 400?
Yes.
Half a Bitcoin, whatever Ethereum is?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, all those are reasonable numbers. I would say, I'd probably cap it at $1,000.
Okay.
A month?
Per month.
Yeah. $1,000.
So I have nothing but fantastic news for you today, Brian.
What's that?
For $5 a month, which is, $195 value, you can join our Patreon, where, like I said, you're not only getting access to all of this amazing content, 26 episodes, I believe. You're getting to join a very cool community. You're getting lots of financial and career advice. Mm-hmm. Brian and I are no longer just podcasters. We're life coaches now. Mm-hmm. We've coached some people. Remember Jerry? Jerry who came in, he was 300 pounds overweight.
Oh, yeah.
The other day, saw cool 182.
Really?
All because of some of the tips and some of the foundational advices that we laid out for our people within our Patreon.
Right, because we give you tips to build a construction, like a real healthy life. It's not about cutting things out. It's about building good habits.
If you're looking to lose weight, for example, there is Adderall. There is
starvation,
droughts. There's droughts. There is. You know what? There is not eating anymore. Mm-hmm. There is so many ways, but people don't want to talk about these. Everybody on the outside world is talking about exercise habits and positive formations. Cutting carbs.
I said cut it all out.
I say don't ever eat again.
Now, there gets a point where you distend, and that's not attractive.
And that's, of course, so we have what we like to call the 28-day cycle.
It's called 28-2.
20.
You don't eat for 28 days, and then you eat for 2 days just to keep the distension off.
Just to keep it off. And it's like I said, 28-2, have as many. One of the cool things about this diet is as many glasses of water as you want.
Endless water.
Not
water. Sparkling, though.
You don't want it. Well, because that'll irritate your stomach a little bit. In which case, sometimes when your stomach is irritated, it does sort of look like you're gaining weight, and you do not want that to happen.
No, you'll bloat. They put a little salt in there, too, and sodium bloats you right up.
You right up. So it's like thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of advice just like that for
all
people.
All day we're giving advice.
We literally, sometimes when we go on the Patreon, it's just, insane. Investors there. A lot of people looking for seed. Developers. We have
a dating app that's exclusive to our Patreon too. A lot of marriages have happened behind our Patreon. We call it strongly recommended marriage. It's not forced marriage. It's just a heavy recommendation.
There is no legal body that could force anybody into anything in our.
It does work in a way where only your parents can sign up for it.
Yeah, and I will say one of your parents probably is going to have more say than the other one.
Listen, that's just to get rid of the power struggle.
And that's sort of, but
keep things clean.
Look, why are we bogging you down with these details?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just join the Patreon, $5 a month. You get all of these services and more. Please, in the meantime, enjoy this 1-minute clip from our most recent Patreon episode.
Well, we're live here at WHP2 Studios, and I just wanted to say that, yes, I do have a Murphy bed in the studio. Uh-huh. It's a Murphy bed that folds up into a liquor cabinet. So
Yeah.
But the problem is that I've never had a bed situation like this before. I
Yeah.
always put my bed in the corner, minimum 2 walls.
Yeah.
Touch my bed. If I could have 4 walls, I should get a canopy. But I feel like a pervert just having my bed. My bed. You walk into my room and it's just my bed is just touching one side of the wall and the rest of it's just in the middle of the room like a fucking freak.
I don't know why I get what you mean by this. It's because, you know what it is? It's because your bed is so central to your room. You almost feel like you're like telling people, hey, check out my bed.
Yeah. This is where the magic happens.
Yeah. Yeah. If it were up to Bryan and I, our beds would be every night. We would come home and we'd have to uncover our bed from a bunch of hay that we put on there just to blend it in.
Dude, I want to sleep in a morgue, like a filing cabinet.
Yeah. If it were up to me and Bryan, our beds would literally never be seen. We wouldn't even have beds.
I don't do anything laying down.
If I could just,
I don't do anything.
if I could just keep my back, if I could, I would have a chair. By the way, not a folding chair, like a kitchen dining room chair.
Yep.
I'd put it on the opposite corner of where the door is, and I would sleep leaning back a little bit.
I would sleep like AC Slater.
Yeah.
I would sit backwards on the chair, fold my arms over the top of the chair.
With a rifle.
Rifle pointing at the door.
Yeah, nuzzled with your head against the fucking barrel of a rifle. That's how insecure and unsafe we feel at all times.
I just feel like a goddamn hedonist.
Before we get started and we get into the second half of the show, Bryan, did you tell me what happened when you were trying to help someone move?
I don't know what's going on with me this week. I had to, maybe an angel came down to me in the middle of my sleep, but I've become the guy that people, I can't tell. There's a boundary between, are you a good person or are you a person who's taken advantage of? And I think the reason why I'm questioning, I picked somebody up from the airport this week and I also helped somebody move. This is not who I am.
This doesn't seem like you. It seems like you're doing community service.
It does.
When I hear that.
Yeah. It seems like I'm reporting my hours.
If you told me that you were helping somebody move, my immediate assumption would be like, this is probably for tagging the inside of a subway.
Right, or moving merchandise that fell off a truck.
Yeah,
something different. And I'm helping people. I picked up my friend from the airport. Doesn't have a car, so that favor will never be returned.
No, absolutely not. That was actually kind of a worthless favor.
It's almost like I'm helping. I'm enabling these people.
Yeah.
It's like I'm stopping them from getting to the next level in their life where they would have a car.
And so they also have this sort of interesting thing that they get to lure over you, where they're like, well, in Corona times, I don't want to.
So I'm picking people, and I'm on my way to the airport, and I say, hey, I'm running a little bit late. Here's the secret behind picking people up from the airport. Have you ever picked up somebody from the airport?
Yeah, absolutely. Los Angeles?
Yeah. LA.
Yeah.
The secret is if they say when they're landing, you show up 45 minutes minimum after, because there is nothing worse than them waiting for a bag and you have to start circle pitting around the fucking airport.
Yeah. Most of the smug in Los Angeles is people just circling.
Waiting for the knucklehead to get out of the goddamn baggage claim.
And people don't understand, maybe if you don't live in Los Angeles or you're not from the area, we have one of the most useless airports on the planet.
It's a fucking shithole.
There's not like a tram or like a spot for it's just this insane.
Chaos.
They literally saw the technology of Hajj in Mecca, and they were like, "What are they doing over there to make that whole thing work?" Okay, we'll set up our airport to work the exact same way. There's a center part that nobody can touch, and everybody's just
walking around it,
circling,
ass to fucking head.
It's insane.
Yeah, and so I show up a little bit late, and I always, this is a trick. I always say, hey, I'm running a little bit late, but no, I'm not running late. That's the exact time I planned on arriving because I don't want to wait for somebody.
Yeah.
If you're picking them up, they wait on you.
They should be waiting on you. They should be thankful when, of course.
So I say, hey, I'm running a little bit late, and they say, and my friend says, that's okay, no problem. I'll just wait. And for some reason, that got me mad because I was like, what do you mean? Of course, that's okay.
Yeah,
I'm picking your ass up. It made me feel like such. It's so whenever I go out on a limb for somebody, it's so quick for me to be like, fuck you.
Yeah.
I should not have done this.
Yeah,
I lost
absolutely.
my mind. And then I'm helping my friend move, and he brings pizza and beer. Is there anything that drags you down more? And I can't say no to either. Those are two things I cannot say no to.
I'm so annoyed with that because I'm with you. Pizza, you can't say no to it. Here's what I hate about people bringing pizza in. It's like, just so you know, I know where to get pizza. This is not like a crazy thing you're doing for
Just
me.
Venmo me the money
Just give
you
me-
spent on the pizza.
Just give me, I would love to take $16. Don't act like I don't know where Little Caesars is.
Exactly. And then you fill me up with cheese and carbs and
carbs.
beer. And I want a nap.
No, you-
and then you expect me to schlep your entire room into a U-Haul truck?
If I'm asking you to help me move, I'm having 5-hour energies and goji berries. You guys are all getting. Oh, you're hungry? Try this dark chocolate roasted coffee bean. You know
Exactly.
the espresso beans you can just chew on.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like a goat.
You know what's funny? He loads me up with beer and pizza, and
Yeah.
he goes, "By the way, I'm no good at driving a U-Haul. I know you are. Can you drive the U-Haul?" I'm like, I hate my friends. I understand. I've built the life where these are the people that are around me.
Yeah, you've cultivated.
I've cultivated this. Like I take full responsibility
Yeah.
for where I'm at, but that doesn't mean it's not frustrating. It's like, oh, hey, you want a 6-pack IPAs? By the way, you're driving this giant 2.5 truck.
What but IPAs too, not even like a light beer. He went with a heavy chocolate. IPAs are annoying, by the way. They're like, it's like weed where it's a lot of flavors that I never taste.
Right. Yeah.
Dude, try this one. It's called nacho cheese. I swear to God,
There is a hint.
it tastes
Of
like
7-Eleven nacho cheese.
it'll taste just like it. And you're like, yeah, it literally is just barley. I'm not tasting one iota. No, dude, strawberry creamsicle. If you really, it doesn't taste like anything.
Also, the wine they do that too. But the wine they like there's like some grass and some acorn shells.
Yeah, IPAs take on the strategy of Ruffles. You know Ruffles now they have
Yeah.
all these like barbecue ribs, and it's a picture of ribs,
Right,
Because
right.
they think you're stupid enough to think it's gonna taste the same as.
Tastes like ribs.
It's just the barbecue flavor.
It's just MSG and sauce.
It's the other thing. They just gave it
meat.
I believe it 100%. When I see meat on the chip, I go, that's got to be.
I can't have those. I'm vegan.
Yeah, I can't touch those. Pork rinds. I used to be like, no way.
Dude, So I'm loaded up with pizza and beer, and I'm having to move my friend. And then he says, I'll take you out for ramen after.
Yeah.
And
Wow,
yeah, he's trying to kill me.
this guy's trying to kill you.
Yeah. And it's just like, I don't know. And he doesn't have a car, and he's moving. I'm helping him move with the U-Haul. And then he's like, by the way, can I crash at your place for 2 nights because my lease is up before my plane ticket. Mm-hmm. And so now he's going to be crashing on my floor. And it's just like, I just want some successful friends.
I'm serious. If I see this guy around here, Brian, I don't know who it is, but I'm going to start kicking them because I don't put up with that kind of stuff.
I know.
I
do.
so good at drawing boundaries. I'll draw them in other people's lives, not just my own. Go, hey, you two, break it up.
Right.
This codependent relationship is over. Go home.
And he's moving to a place where he's living with his friend for free.
Yeah,
He's a great guy.
people are great. Doesn't mean that they
Great
can't
guy.
be. Doesn't mean that they can't be drags on society.
If you guys are helping people move and they're not 25 or younger,
Yeah.
leave out the pizza and the beer.
I've never asked anybody to help me move. I've just literally either done
The
it.
whole way I was on the airport to pick up numbnuts from the fucking airport, I'm on the highway going, I pass about 9 flyaway shuttles.
Yeah.
I'm like, there is a flyaway shuttle. This is egregious that you're asking me to drive all the way to the fucking airport when there's a shuttle. Do you not care about the environment? I get like it starts spinning. I'm like, oh, this is global warming.
You start getting, That's when you, in that moment, become a hardcore climatologist.
Exactly.
And you're so
Fucking
concerned.
ice caps are melting. Polar bears are turning brown because you can't take a shuttle.
You're looking at your car. You're going, when do I need to change my timing belt? Oh, this ain't getting me any closer to that.
Yeah. Just grinding my brake pads to dust.
Nothing. It's,
Exhaust pouring out.
I mean, just by the second, you are like so good at calculating. For the first time in your life, you become good at calculating the costs of travel.
Yeah, exactly.
For the first time in your life, you're like applying a AAA's per mile, deduction or whatever. I mean,
Do you think there was an offer of gas money?
if I know people, yes, there's an excess of gas money. What did you do with the extra gas money?
I bought some IPAs.
You bought some IPAs? Nice. Did you go pick them up after the move, by the way?
No, these are 2 different days.
Oh, thank God.
This was my week.
I thought if that was the same day,
Dude, if that was the same day, I should get literally a medal.
I would honestly, if CNN Heroes was still a thing, I would nominate you if you did that in the same day. I'm actually, a lot of people don't know this about me. I've been nominated for a CNN Hero. Self-nominated, of course. There's no, they don't check your web browser. So as long as you do it in an incognito window, no one can prove it. I just thought that the way that I was empowering young Republicans in my community college was admirable. Of course, CNN did not respond back to me.
The Clinton News Network.
The CNN, yeah. Did you write that, Clinton News Network? That's damn, that's good, dude. I could have used someone like you back in the day. I instead internalized the message.
It's between that and the Communist News Network.
Yeah, just like NPR's National Palestinian Radio.
Right, or AOCNN.
Yeah.
AOCNN.
Look, man.
That's the original. It doesn't really have a ring to it. We're trying to work it.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I mean, look, man, these guys are good at nicknames. That's one of the things that they're good at.
Sleepy Joe.
They're good stuff, man. Well, hey, before we, I guess let's get started into the topic at hand today, the Neuralink. Second half of the show, we're going to talk about the Neuralink presentation, a little more Elon Musk talk.
If you guys aren't familiar with what Neuralink is, it's a chip that will replace a piece of your skull. It's circular.
Yeah,
and it's threaded directly into your brain by a robot.
Well, let's go even further back than that. Neuralink is a company founded in 2016 by Elon Musk and a couple of his homeboys.
That's surely what he calls them.
Elon Musk and the homeboys.
You ever heard Elon Musk laugh?
I have not ever heard Elon Musk.
It's the broiest laugh ever. He goes,
listen, man. I said this on our Patreon. I'm going to say this here. If you ever invest in Tesla or any of Elon's companies, suddenly he's a lot more tolerable.
Oh yeah, we'll get into that. I'm a fan.
I mean, the man is making waves out here, and so it was founded in 2016. Their goal, so far they've raised $150 million. $100 million of it is Elon Musk's. So
they raised $50 million.
They raised $50 million.
What a weird way to word that.
I found out that latter half, the $100 million was his. I didn't know.
Okay.
They kind of.
That's like how our Patreon is making $4,000 a month, but we are pumping $3,000 in.
Well, it's called stimulating the economy. Obviously, you don't know anything about Keynesian economics. But so this is not actually new technology that they're doing. Their whole thing is that they would like to insert a chip into your brain. The initial reason why they founded it was to deal with physical issues like paralysis and speech and blind. Actually, dementia isn't even mentioned in their original sort of company. That's the thing that makes them unique, is that they're the first people to admit that they're essentially going to try to use it to merge humans and AI.
Right. Because Elon says if you can't beat him, join him.
Because there's a lot of other companies that are doing this, and this is why people are actually annoyed with Elon Musk. By the way, did you watch? So you watched the whole thing
live, baby?
The weird.
I was tweeting, trying to get some questions in.
Dude, it looked like. By the way, did it not look like he was doing a Fallon set in the very beginning
with the curtains,
with
and
the blue curtain
the
behind
suit.
him? This is how Elon Musk would start his Fallon set. He'd go like this. I know what you guys are all thinking. And that's because I have a chip implanted into all of your brains. That'd be an awesome beginning.
He's like, yeah, and he pulls up cool YouTube videos that he thinks are funny, and he implants them in people's head, and he's just like, isn't this cool?
Isn't this great?
Grape Stomp? You seen this?
The whole crowd. I think that's the future of comedy, by the way. I think it's just going to be people showing videos live.
Look at this guy.
It's kind of like a DJ, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. He's playing other people's hits.
He curates the best of whatever you saw on YouTube.
Look at this guy, he farts. It's killing.
I like that we thought we came up with that. It's just Tosh.0. That's all
true.
Tosh.0 is.
That really is.
Let's see. So on Friday, Elon Musk did a presentation of Neuralink. The whole purpose of the presentation, which was interesting, was that they were recruiting people to come work for them.
Yeah, which is a crazy way to recruit high-end engineers.
Yeah.
To do like Jerry's Kids telethon style.
Yeah, he basically did a radio stunt. He did like a weird Opie and Anthony whip him out, just to try to get people on board for what he's doing.
Yeah. Why did it have to be live?
Yeah, it did not. It just could have honestly just been ZipRecruiter.com could have easily done the trick of what they were trying to do. You could have just posted to LinkedIn.
You should have got an airplane and just flown a banner over Silicon Valley.
Just, we're looking for people.
Yeah. Anybody who's good at engineering of any sorts.
It was a little
Software, robotics.
Yeah, it was a little much. The pitch was very interesting. He described the Neuralink as a Fitbit for your brain. Mm-hmm. Or as Bryan would know it, a cool bit, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure he didn't have a Fitbit.
Oh, no. Hold on. Actually, it's worth it. Let's see what the brand is.
Bryan has, I forgot, a couple of weeks ago, for the listeners, I noticed Bryan, and I never really lit him up about this, and I should have. I noticed that he was wearing some kind of Fitbit knockoff. It was a health tracker. I'm sure that's what it was called. I'm sure he purchased it off of Alibaba.com. There's no way it's a brand that any of us have ever heard of. How long?
I've already lost it.
How long did you wear it for?
About 6 days.
6 days. Bryan wore it for 6 days and realized.
I didn't like the feeling of things on my wrist.
Yeah, that's. Seems like it would be a pretty straightforward.
I want to know what the brand is. Where'd it go?
All right, we found it. Okay, what is the brand? This is the brand of whatever Fitbit Bryan owns.
It is a Fit Fort. Not even Sport.
They legally were like, we actually can't sell this as a digital. We actually have to sell this as pieces of a fort for a child to make it out of. So legally.
Fit Fort. Can you believe that?
So you didn't like this at all? Can I have it?
Yeah, you can absolutely have it.
Thanks, dude.
I can't stand the feeling of things on my wrists.
So you hated it.
Yeah, like I was like a child. I was like flicking my wrist, like, get it off, get it off.
You're going to absolutely hate having a Neuralink eventually installed into your brain.
Perfectly flush with your skull. I want one so bad.
So that's what I thought was so amazing about it. So if you guys are wondering, how does this exactly occur? It's a device. By the way, you got to watch it. We'll put the link in the show notes. You got to watch its presentation. It is a device about the size of a quarter. Essentially, what will happen?
He said the size of a large coin.
Large coin. You're right. And to me,
what does that mean?
Could be $1. Remember, there could be the $half coin.
Right. It could be the Susan B. Anthony.
JFK.
Oh, the JFK one. Yeah,
Dude, whenever I got the JFK one, oh, dude, it was on. I would get those all the time. Mm-hmm. Have you noticed we're going through a national coin shortage? I guess that's another topic we'll talk about in the beginning.
I haven't noticed. No. Well, that seems like something a panhandler would notice.
Well, some of my boys on the street.
Yeah, some of your Styrofoam Cup employees.
When I say the street, I'm not referring to Wall Street. I'm referring to Vine Street, Vine in Hollywood.
Right.
Some of the guys I know who dress up like Spider-Man are telling me that there's a
national coin shortage.
Those are my guys that are on the ground. You know what I mean? Those are my eyes and ears on the floor.
Yeah, schizophrenic Spider-Man.
Every single Winchell's I've gone to, every single
Dunkin' Donuts.
They're all like, listen, we're going through a national coin shortage. If you could use exact change, we would be greatly appreciative of it. So he's going to put, so he's going to, I guess they insert it into your brain. It goes flush with your skull. It actually replaces a piece of your skull.
Yeah. They have a robot with a bone saw that slices out a circle.
Yeah, and you, according to the projections or sort of what the aims of the company are, they're going to be able to complete the surgery within an hour. You should be recovering that day.
Out.
Theoretically, the prods that go into your brain also shouldn't actually cause any blood. So
right, yeah.
You will not need to be anesthetized. Second time that's come up on the show. Mm-hmm. And you will also not need to have anybody drive you home or whatever. You're going to be good to go within an hour.
Right, yeah. They showed a close-up of the brain. They showed the threads going into the brain, and they showed it going in between the blood vessels.
Oh, was that what that was?
Yeah.
I thought it was someone's screensaver. I was like, that thing is...
I thought it was a Tool video.
Yeah, dude.
Elon's like, oh, sorry, I was listening to that before.
I was listening. Shizm pumps me up.
Yeah.
So
Elon's about to go out. Bra-da-da, bra-da-da-da-da.
I did say Shizm. Right. He's South African, so he wouldn't say schism.
Yeah,
so,
schism.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. All right, you know this song.
So beyond being inserted into your coin, it's or inserted into your coin. Besides it being the size of a coin inserted into your brain, it is rechargeable, which is kind of cool.
I didn't understand. That was one thing I didn't understand. How do you charge it?
So if you use like any sort of wireless charging, what essentially you do is on one end there's like a magnetic charger, and on the other end of the actual chip itself, there is a magnet. So I think what he's essentially saying is...
put it in the pillow?
You kind of put it in the pillow, you put it near the pillow. And
it didn't make any sense to me how you...
I know for a fact that if I get
a yarmulke?
If I get a...
like a charging yarmulke?
If I get a Neuralink, I'm telling you, every day I'm
You're going to lose the charger.
Every day I'm going to show up and I'm going to be talking to you, and halfway through I'm going to stop talking. You're going to be like, you know what,
battery
dude?
died.
I forgot to charge it last night. I tied one off. Sorry about that, dude.
Yeah, like if you're naturally forgetful, one day you'll be shooting on all, sixes, and then the next day you're an amnesiac again.
By the way, what is going to happen if I'm walking around with because in the beginning, right? So I guess we'll get into it in a little bit, but if I'm walking around with a electronic chip in my brain, I better be wearing a baseball cap made by OtterBox. That is a crazy expensive piece of equipment to just walk around with no protection whatsoever.
Wearing a Raiders helmet everywhere you go.
You literally look like you're about to bat every single time. You're wearing a baseball hat. Everybody starts wearing fitted construction caps.
Exactly, with cool stickers on them. Yeah, that is an expensive. He says he wants to make it affordable so everyone can have it, which, is suspicious.
Yeah, I guess they're going to. Okay. They're as a company, they're hoping to initially begin by implanting the chip on the upper layer of your brain, which is mainly a physical kind of thing. So it helps you with motor skills, talking, blindness, all that kind of stuff. And then they eventually want to get it to a place where they can go emotional, things like addiction and PTSD and anxiety.
What about getting your dick hard?
It's where he's got to go next.
For sure, dude.
It's where he has to go next.
Yeah.
I think because the thing about what Elon is doing here is it's not brand new. It's just a way, like he realized, there's a lot of money in solving this problem. The amount of get your dick hard science that's going on out there, you would think Elon would be like, dude, we got to figure, that's the money.
Yeah. It's just like an app.
Everything else, fuck it. That's the money right there. We got to figure out how to zap.
If it could grow your hair back. Give you a big hard dick.
It's going to be sold. If it could even just add a couple of inches, maybe.
I don't see why it couldn't.
To me,
I don't understand any of it, so I don't see why.
If you tell me it's going to help a paralyzed person walk, I'm going to assume there could be other uses on this thing.
Right. Well, that's literally what I was thinking. When I was picturing a guy like in a wheelchair, like standing up and walking again, and then his dick not working, and he'd be like, "This thing sucks."
Devastated. That'd be the worst.
That'd be the worst thing in the world.
So I think it could be used for something like that. It said that it was going to help you replace. What I thought was really interesting was they were like it will help with cognitive disorders like dementia and Alzheimer's.
He also said autism,
memory loss in general. But the one thing that I would request if I were to get a Neuralink installed in me is I would actually try to omit some of the shitty memories. You should have some say.
Some kind of eternal sunshine.
Yeah, I go, you know what? I'd love to remember everything from after 32 perfectly.
Right.
Everything before that, can we just go ahead and empty recycle bin there?
I'm fine with remembering it, but can we erase other people's memories of me before I was 32?
That should be something you should have access to. You get to also, did you see that, well, I guess we'll get into that in a second. There was that fun Q&A portion of it. The demonstration was the chip in the pig brains. What do you think about that?
There was 3 pigs. One pig never had the chip. Yeah. One pig had the chip and then had it removed.
Yeah.
And then one pig had the chip.
Yeah. The one pig that looked the happiest out of the 3 of them was the one that had it removed. That one was smiling.
He was shiny. He had good skin. The other ones were like drippy and snotty and weird looking and gross. They were like covered in yellow shit.
It looks like some of those pigs look like they were being tear gassed before they were pulled out in front of the curtain because it was. I don't think. There was a couple of problems with that general experiment. First and foremost, the one pig that was that had the chip in it,
Gertrude,
seemed to be acting the absolute most unusual.
They couldn't get Gertrude to come out of the pen. He was like, "Wow, this really is live," and he realized in his mind, "There's no reason for this to be live.
This shouldn't have been live. I shouldn't have done this."
The pig would not come out. It was so all the pigs were introduced one by one to come out from backstage into a pen that was in the middle of the factory floor.
Yeah.
And then, by the way, did you see that one of the jobs they were recruiting for was animal care? And I was like, that's the only job I'm qualified for.
How great would it be if you were the animal care guy?
Dude, I want to be the Neuralink pig guy so bad.
Because you would get to live that startup life, but you would get to look down at them because you're working an honest, living.
Exactly. And I'm taking care of animals. Also, it's like a folksy job, but it's a startup job. But also, you probably get like amazing healthcare insurance. And you can just, if you're sitting down at a bar talking to a chick, you can say, hey, I work at Neuralink.
We've previously talked about this in terms of what are the jobs, because the work star of the week, the Ramdog Big Business, our goals are a little bit different than most people. Most cats are out there trying to get a job that gets them paid. We're out there trying to get a job that gets us laid, bro. We are out there every day, and we talked about different jobs. Climatologist was one.
Yeah, that you got to be a fucking panty dropper right there.
I care for animals for basically a company that's trying to make your grandpa with Alzheimer's. Right. We're trying to make him better. So,
and your war veteran brother who can't walk.
Yeah, so we're actually working on fixing that, and I am part of my job down there is they needed somebody who could really love the pigs in the right way. And so
people don't understand how smart pigs are. They can sniff a bad guy out right away. I mean, they have trust issues. And they warmed up right to me as soon as I walked in.
Sometimes I say, if I don't know what to do in life, I go, I think I'm going to have a pig take a sniff around it. You know what I mean? I kind of go talk to them, I sniff it out. They're very intuitive animals. So.
Vietnamese potbellies, smartest animals in the world.
Smartest. I mean,
if they had thumbs, it'd be over.
I'm including humans.
Me too.
I'm way smarter than humans.
We'd already be on Mars if they had thumbs.
You could tell me any animal is smarter than a human or as smart as a 3-year-old, and it doesn't mean anything to me. When people do that, they go, a pig is actually just as smart as a 3-year-old. I'm like, I'm sure a raven is too. I'm sure a deer is. An adult deer is probably as smart as a 3-year-old baby. I'm sure a wolf is smarter. I'm sure everything is probably smarter than a 3-year-old.
I should apply for that animal care job, though.
You really should.
Do that tonight.
I'm going to apply to be one of because they are hiring engineers and and really hot male doctors. Did you see how hot their main surgeon was?
I didn't. Was that the Asian guy?
No, there was just
there was a buff Asian guy too.
There was a ripped dude. He could have been Asian. He was he Asian? Possibly like Pacific Islander. He had like bronze skin, this guy.
No, that's not who I was talking about.
This guy kind of looked like maybe Bradley Cooper. He was just like super hot. And he started talking and I thought, what a cool ass guy. Right. He's the head neurosurgeon at Neuralink.
Buff. Yeah.
Ripped, dude.
Elon Musk was making everybody introduce themselves like it was an AA meeting.
Yeah.
They would start answering questions. And they're all like, listen, you don't get to be that brilliant without lacking a little bit of social skills.
They were pissed off when they had to introduce themselves. Like there was this, I remember that. Oh, you know what's funny? I know exactly what you're talking about. There was a buff Asian guy who I remember he started talking. He was an engineer.
Yeah.
And then halfway through, Elon was like, introduce yourself.
Who are you? What do you do?
And he was like pissed off that he had to introduce himself.
Yeah, he was so mad.
These are the guys that Bryan and I are trying to get on board for this podcast.
100%. If we could, listen, I love all of you guys, but 5 of those guys is worth a million regular listeners.
If we could only have the #1 podcast on
at
Patreon
Neuralink?
for...
If they were just pumping us through
Silicon
Neuralink?
Valley? Yeah, absolutely. We should try. What are we doing wasting our time trying to get... We should try to be focusing on Silicon Valley, trying to get them into the worst ever nation.
I think we are.
We have a lot of people.
We do.
We have a lot of...
actually are building a startup.
We have a lot of disgruntled startup employees who listen to this pod. Maybe some people at Neuralink.
Listen, I don't know what it says about them. I don't know what it says about us, but startups make them read a book by Beverly D'Angelo. Next thing you know, they're pissed off and they're joining our Patreon. That's just what happens.
It's just what happens.
We report, you decide.
So they are. They're looking to be running their first human trials in the year 2020, and they received an FDA breakthrough designation. That was another thing that was.
I know. My company was close to getting ours.
Yeah. What was the product again? You guys were had a refried bean that had 4 times the vitamin D.
It was actually a re-fried bean.
Yeah.
Because 1 fry was not enough.
Genetically modified, so it's like this has 5 times the vitamin D that a normal human has.
And it's full of testosterone. So it's like a testosterone replacement re-fried bean with vitamin D and vitamin B.
Currently in phase 1 of development right now. We can't get out of phase 1. Everybody keeps murdering each other. It's becoming very challenging.
I'm trying to get Dr. Rhonda Patrick to help me get it out, but she has a restraining order on me or whatever.
She has a spam box in her email account. I mean, she's not reading anything.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's it mean when you send somebody a Facebook message and it says seen for 3 weeks?
Yeah, I think it means that they're a bitch.
I've always assumed that they are trying to, come up with a perfect response back at you.
Left on red. Yeah, I want a Neuralink. I want one now. But more importantly, I think we should get one in Joe Biden.
We should.
Just for an honest election. I don't care how you feel about Joe Biden.
Give him both the Neuralink. I mean, why not?
Trump doesn't need the Neuralink.
I don't need him having any.
That guy doesn't need to function anymore.
We don't need him having any more access to his brain.
He's the most high-functioning human being.
If possible, we should use the Neuralink machine to pull just a few ounces of brain.
Yeah, he's just too much man.
Neuralink has brought out so many interesting thoughts and sort of types of people on Twitter. A lot of people distrustful of the general vibe of Neuralink.
What, of a brain chip?
Listen, man.
A brain chip that runs on Bluetooth, a very hackable technology? What's their skepticism?
Understood, but they're also They're also taking in 400 milligrams of THC daily. So easy before you decide that certain things aren't for your brain and certain things are for your brain. You know?
Yeah.
And we're talking about getting the Neuralinks into people who need them first. It's not like an immediate thing. I think it's really funny that there is a group of people who are like, yeah, I understand it could help this guy walk again, but I feel weird about it.
It's
so
hackable. I don't know if you're going to try, Bill Gates gets his hands on it.
It just seems like, for my comfort, I'd like it if we take a step back on this one.
When I heard about Neuralink, I immediately thought, oh, cool, I can start huffing again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I love huffing gold spray paint.
Dude.
I love whippets.
You can really go wild.
And then you're telling me that if I get Neuralink, then I can do 12 to 80 whippets a day and stay just as smart as I am today.
Yeah.
Tomorrow?
You know how it's what they call an off-label use.
Yeah.
Taking the Neuralink, you could increase the amount of whippets you do.
Next time you see Elon, he's going to have fucking silver spray paint around his mouth.
Boy, I tell you, I hope my wife doesn't get a Neuralink. I don't need her remembering all the reasons why she's mad at me.
I said that on the Patreon.
Oh, did you really? We just have to get all of this out.
But it's true. I mean, a lot of men are going to feel this, so it needs to be said more than once. It needs to be said more
than once. If you are... Did you see that there was a Q&A and they kind of got a little hippie with it, and they talked about taking your memories, backing them up, and uploading them into a robot? Did you see that?
Yes, I did see that.
By the way, wouldn't you feel so sorry for the robot who got your and my memories?
Oh my God.
I'm so sorry, dude. You could have gotten Willow Smith's memories and you got me and Bryan's. Oh, dude, it's so unfortunate.
They come and check on the robot. They're like, the robot won't get out of bed. And they're like, a robot doesn't go to bed. He does now.
Yeah.
He does now.
We uploaded it onto this MacBook.
Won't stop watching The Office for some reason.
It seems to start on a task and then it just immediately gives up halfway through. This is one of the worst robots on the planet. It feels like this robot is really wasting its artificial intelligence. So sad. I feel so bad for this.
He's drinking in the morning.
This is not good for
He keeps short-circuiting. Did you see that they had a long conversation about how well the animals are treated, too?
Yeah, you got it. Because they know. They could have brought out a zombie person. Nobody would have said anything.
They could have been shooting it with arrows.
But if they brought out a dog that looked a little bit like kind of unsure about what was going on, Elon would have been tried as a war criminal. We would have killed him the next day.
It was a long chunk, and the comment section, because I was watching it live, so they had the live feed of comments.
Yeah.
And people were freaking out about how those pigs were treated.
People were not.
We're talking about chipping. This is why people are so stupid. And Elon Musk, his whole premise for Neuralink was he was saying that we cannot, there's a rush on it. That's why he's trying to hire people, because he's like, we cannot keep up with artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
It's going to pass us. The only way we can is if we merge with it.
Yeah.
You can't beat them, join them.
Yeah.
And then you got all these people being like, but how are those pigs treated? And we're like, does it make your dick? It's just like, we're a lost cause.
Right now, as we speak, there are two artificial intelligent podcasters both going through and just they're trying to beat us right now, dude. We need to stay on top. We need to stay ahead of everybody. That's why you guys need to join the Patreon today. Patreon.com/WHotW. $5 a month. Help me and Bryan get a Neuralink installed into our heads.
Would you get one?
I would absolutely get one. Although I know me, I'd probably end up getting the off-brand one.
Yeah.
I for sure wouldn't get the Neuralink. I'd get whatever, I get the sidestep it. I'd get Target brand.
Right.
Heyday or whatever.
Heyday. You get the Heyday brand chip?
I've got the
Kirkland. You got a Kirkland brand chip?
There's no way I'm getting the one that everybody else has, the nice one. I'm getting the one that goes 30 miles. Like, I have the electric car that goes 18 miles instead of 400.
It's a Neuroconnect.
Yeah.
With a K.
It works just the same. It's like a Zoom. It's a Microsoft Zoom.
Your eyes are rolling in counterclockwise direction.
I'm going to have the Windows Neuralink.
Your ears are gushing blood. You're like, it works just the same.
Oh, sure. I have to charge a little bit more than everybody else. But the thing is it doesn't really bother me that much. I just have to,
You've got an orange extension cable coming out of your head.
Bleeding always. I'm bleeding a little bit at all times. So sad.
Oh my God.
Well, hey man, it's been a wonderful episode today. Let's close this bad boy out. Be sure to follow the show at Worst Hour Pod across all social media platforms. Follow Bryan Big Business Vokey on Twitter at Bryan J Vokey, and on Instagram at Mr. Bryan Vokey. You can follow me, the Ramdog, at Ramsbed across all social media platforms. Email the show worsthouroftheweek@gmail.com. Bryan, my man, anything else you want to say before we get the hell out of here?
No, on the next Patreon, I'll just do a little preview. The next Patreon, I'm going to tell a story about. I actually met Elon Musk. I've shaken hands with him.
Oh yeah, okay.
And I'll save that story for the Patreon as a continuation of this one.
I mean, getting a chance to get to know Bryan a little bit more, it's really worth the Patreon in itself. Be sure to check out that Patreon link, patreon.com/WHW. Fifth time I plugged it today. It's because we're trying to get to 100. We're so close.
We're so close.
If we get to 100, I mean,
then we'll push for 5.
Then we'll push for 5. Then we'll push for 1,000. And, things will happen. I'm telling you, if we can get to the right amount of Patreons, we may not be able to afford the Neuralink, but we could maybe get one of those pigs who used to have one.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
You get the one with just a hole in its head.
Just blinking at us.
Just shitting while it's standing and staring at you.
Maybe that's what happened to Cobra.
Yeah, Cobra. I was going to say, Cobra is a post-Neuralink dog.
All right, P, man. Well, hey, if you got nothing else to say, I got nothing else to say. On behalf of me and everybody at the Worst Hour Nation, peace be unto the prophet.
Long live Tyler. I used to always call Tyler Zach.
That's so funny.
Does he look like a Zach?
He does look like a Zach.
All right, good night, folks.
Coming in hard with the depravity you see. This is the worst hour of the week. Reaching new lows with Bryan and Ramsey. This is the worst hour of the week. The worst hour of the week.
Thank you for listening to the Worst Hour of the Week with Bryan Vokey and Ramsey Badawi. Peace be unto the prophet.